And we're talking about when the seawall wasn't developed at the bottom and you had all the floods, all the waves coming in and causing all the problems. Well, a few pictures from this sequence of pictures, which I didn't know where they came from, have been posted before, but this is the full sequence over 2 days, taken in 1982, and these are scans that I've done from the originals. So these aren't necessarily anything you've seen all of them before, I don't know. But what we're going to do is start off here at the Thornhill, okay, and we're looking from one of those windows at the front here. We're looking down here to where all that was the Clifton Hotel. Okay, so roughly about here. There was a wall there and a car stuck in the sand. Here we go. That's the other side of the little wall you'll see in the next photo. But of course, when the waves came over, they came right up over. So here we go, it's the Capri, Black Capri, completely soaked in the waves. And this time with Andy's brother stood on the wall, supervising. Now we're going to look down this way now, with one you probably have seen before on my channel. At the old Pollard's ice cream hut, which was here, next to the Clifton Hotel. And in the distance you should be able to make out a red car buried in the sand up there, where that white car is now. So check that out. And just a little bit further along now, a bit of a close-up of the waves hitting up there. Here we are. And finally, looking back up that way, you'll see the same little wall there. This is what it looked like in this direction. Crazy. So there we go. Thank you very much, Andy, for those. Part 2 of those will be tomorrow when we go in the other direction. Okay, so back to yesterday's set of pictures. Clifton House there was Clifton Hotel, which was set back a bit further than this. Just around there was the ice cream thing. And over there, butting up against that wall, was a cafe with an amusement arcade. Let me just jump in and show you a quick clip, or quick shot what it looked like before it was demolished in 1990 something. So there we go, that would have been taken about there. But if we walk along like this and we find the imaginary front of the amusement arcade, here's the first picture from Andy. Now the chap in that photo there, lighting up the cigarette, was a well-known Teignmouth character called Cornelius. Everybody sort of seemed to know him, always around. Very, very popular chap. And the two people walking away are actually Andy's parents. So here's the second pic in the sequence, where they're walking away from the cafe, which would have been there. And you can see the red car submerged in the sand. Awful. Let's have a close-up of the red car. That would have been right about here. And finally, you can take it up to there to look back, line up the final shot where you see the car again in the distance. Here we go, not an ideal matchup because the wall's changed so much and you can't really see over there, but here we go. So once again, thank you very much, Andy. and Andy's mum for sharing those pictures with us, which I was able to scan in from the originals. Just run through them one last time. Then we do tend to get a big storm, sort of 8 to 10 years, and the last one before Kieran was the storm in 2014, which caused a lot of damage. And it turns out that the storm in 2014 actually hit on the 5th of February, today. So do a bit of a then and a now with 5 pictures going to flash up of the storm in Teignmouth in 2014 on this day. Here you go. So there we go, that was 10 years ago today. Well, here's the interesting thing. That shelter wasn't there in 1930, and this area here, above the bowling green, next to the pavilions, was known as the Winter Gardens. They even had a wooden cannon on display. So here we go, I've never seen this one myself before, but this is 1930. Well, there we go, that certainly looks a little bit different, doesn't it? Why it was called the Winter Gardens, I don't know, but that is what it is down as. Where the old pavilions was where the old bowling pavilion was where the new pavilions are now. And that bit there wasn't even built. Crazy. In 1967 then and now, of some serious trouble and unrest on the seafront, which all ties into this little area here. Oh, terrible misuse of facilities. You won't believe it. Let me line him up. So as you know, in 1967, this was the little boating pond where you could sail your model boats around. But heaven forbid, as it says in the article, where are the boats? Small children have dared to paddle in it. End of the world. Here we go, pause it and you can read it. Crazy. So there we go, 1967, where they're getting a little bit cross, hot and bothered about children daring to paddle in their boating pond. The days that have gone by, eh? The days that have gone by. Okay, so we're going to jump into a then and now, which is actually a very interesting one, for me anyway, because it puts a date on something. What's it put a date on? The ballroom being demolished at the end of the pier. We all know there used to be a proper ballroom there, and we all know it's not there now, and we all know it came down at some point, sort of between 69 and, well, 77 when they built this wall. But here we go, we've done it now, we've got a date, 1975. Here it is, literally being the process of being demolished, just the bare bones remaining. So that gives us a date, 1975, it was taken down. Lovely, now we know. So, you'll remember the other day, I did 3 pictures, all to do with this bridge here that I'm walking over. where it was being repaired or replaced, or something was going on. There was big girders and cranes, etc., etc., and we were trying to date it. And there were 3 pictures which I will flash up now, just in case anyone doesn't remember what I'm talking about. So I've come across a 4th one in the set of pictures, which I didn't know about. I'm going to go and do that one now, and it also, according to the picture, gives us an actual date. So as they were all taken on the same date, we can safely say that we have a date for the pictures now. I shall line him up and off we go. So here we go, from about here, bonus train in this clip. You can still see the houses top right, which go along behind the railway station. And although Brookhill School, which would be top left, has gone, you can still see the buildings which make up Orchard Gardens. Anyway, here's the picture. And the date I have for all those pictures is 1970. Could be wrong, of course, because Facebook dates are Facebook dates, but that's the date I've got, 1970. Right, let's get down to the doctors. Quick then and now in the wind, 1993, helicopter off the end of the pier with the lifeboat doing some sort of display. Here you go. So there we go, 1993. Crazy, isn't it? Crazy. Shall we have another then and now? Why not? Let me line it up. Got to set it up for you to imagine it a little bit on this one. Right, so I want you to imagine that you stood on the pier about there, okay? And you're looking down to those steps there from the pier. Here you go, 1900s I think. Shows the old seawall, how there used to be stuff on the beach, huts, etc. And you can also see the Bay Hotel and that in the background of the picture.